You know, it's funny. When you think about it, we're all different people as we go throughout our lives. We all change a little bit each day. And whether I realized it or not, all this year, I've been changing from the Vacuuminator to whoever I'm going to be next. And I'm sure at least some of you are a little bit curious about who I want that to be. So at this point, I'm pretty sure most people have already written me off, unsubscribed, and said, oh, well, goodbye, the Vacuuminator. I liked some of your videos, but what the fuck ever. And that's totally valid. That's totally fine. But before we sing the final song, I figure, why not discuss some ground rules, some dreams, some goals for whoever the next guy ends up being, because I am nothing if not constantly excited by the idea of how good things really can be. It's what I've always done in my videos. Even when I'm slagging something off, it's because I'm mad that it's not as good as it should be, in my opinion. And so after a couple weeks of talking about how shit all this is and how shit I am, why not say what I think we could all do to get a little bit better? So first, let's get a little something straight. This is not technically my last YouTube video. My last appearance on YouTube is actually going to be tomorrow night, co-hosting the No Prize podcast live with Boingo Writer, where we're going to discuss the classic Roger Corman Fantastic Four film, as well as whatever comic-related news and new releases happened this week, and should be a fun time. I do have a little speech prepared for the end of that, if Boingo will allow it. But yeah, this isn't exactly the place to get so sappy. If you want to say goodbye to me, you can do it in real time over there, or at least you can if you're watching this within the first 48 hours it goes live, I assume. Secondly, I should be clear about what's going to become of this channel, because I'm sure there's at least a few of you who are going to want to go back and rewatch things every once in a while. Everything that is currently public will stay public for as long as it can. And everything that is currently unlisted will be going live on the 1st. All of my Patreon exclusive podcasts, all the little side videos I've done just for them, that stuff's going to be available for everybody starting next year. Editing Vac chiming in here for probably the last time, just to add in that the reason all this is happening is because my Patreon is going to be deleted on the 1st. I somehow completely forgot to mention that, but yeah, the Vacuuminator Patreon page is going to be shut down, and all of the exclusive content from it is going to be made public for everyone on this channel on the 1st. Hopefully that makes it all nice and clear and understandable for you, and hopefully I don't have to do another one of these cut-ins later in the video. Unfortunately, not a lot of my old public videos are going to be able to return because I simply don't have the files for them anymore, and that really does suck. My own issues and inability to back things up well has really come back to bite me in the butt a number of times over the years, and this is just the latest in a long line. But you guys will get a little extra stuffing on the 1st, and pretty much everything that's available at that point will stay available for as long as YouTube seems fit to keep this channel around. I'm probably not going to log into it to reply to comments or anything too often, so It's entirely up to whenever the next inactivity sweep happens and what the window is for that, for when the Vacuuminator disappears completely forever, because I'm also going to make a new YouTube and Google account in general under my government name. I'm probably going to either delete or change most of my social media accounts to be that, and just in general, you're not going to see the name The Vacuuminator crop up on your feeds too many more times after this. And in the unlikely event I ever change my mind and want to come back to YouTube, it won't be here. It'll be under that government name or some other name I can come up with, because so much of my content has been deleted over time, and because I've tried so many different things and I've never really changed my standing in the algorithm since the days of the wizard video, I'm pretty sure this channel is just fucked in the algorithm, so wouldn't be worth the effort. Now let's talk a little bit about you people and what I'd like to see change in my absence. Well, first and foremost, if you haven't already, go support Modular Media. If nothing else, I believe in the potential of the free creators I'm leaving that brand in the care of. Boingo Writer, who originally had the idea for it and became one of my best friends ever because of how similar a wavelength we are in our political views about being creators. Snowcone83, who is a really knowledgeable and witty guy who just hasn't gotten to that point of actually making videos yet, but once he does, I guarantee they're going to be must-see content. And Buster Corp, who, despite all their own personal hang-ups and foibles that they've had over the few years I've known them, has managed to put out some pretty sharp, intelligent, watchable little bits of analysis that really make me feel all they're missing is just the right thing to get them permanently locked into the algorithm and able to make a living at this. And yeah, it's true, the chemistry might be a bit off without me there, but I think the three of them together are still pretty solid and entertaining. And if you've not been listening to Modular yet, you really owe it to yourself to give whatever they're planning for after I'm gone a shot, because I've heard them discuss a little bit here and there, but I haven't keyed into it too much because it's not any of my damn business. What they do with the channel after I permanently log out is their business, and I'm fully confident that they're going to be successful at it. I really, really believe in those guys, so if you could give them the time of the day, I'd really appreciate it. Secondly, well, I know some of you are probably sad I'm leaving. Please don't let it have ruined your holidays. Please don't let it be something that puts a dampener on you going into the new year, because regardless of what's happening with me, a new year is a chance for anyone to start fresh and get their life back on track, back in the direction they want to be going in. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that's partially what I'm trying to do here. I made the decision to throw myself into making content at the start of last year, and it didn't pay off, and so now I'm making the exact opposite decision for a lot of reasons beyond that, but at this point, it's just kind of in my nature to make a big change going into the new year. And if you feel like you need to do that to improve your life, by all means. Maybe it'll work for you better than it has for me in the past, and maybe this one will work pretty good for me. And perhaps most importantly for YouTube and creator culture as a whole, from now on, please, whenever you have the chance, foster creativity and competition within this sphere, whether it be with your own viewing time or your own dollars. If a legitimate competitor to YouTube ever comes around again, like Blip or some of the other ones we've lost along the way, at least give it a real try. If we ever get a real competitor to Patreon again that's not run by a secret douchebag, please give that a try. Support the creators you like. And support them. Don't just support the system that allows them to get content to you, because that's just as dangerous as anything else. We're all so used to and so ingrained in using YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Tumblr, and all the other media platforms to engage with content nowadays, but we need to remember there was a time when it wasn't like that. When the internet was the Wild West and you had to seek out specific websites to see specific creators. And I'm not saying we need to go back to that age, but certainly a little more variety would be helpful. And the only way we make that happen is by taking up those opportunities when they present themselves. And when it comes to the media, those creators are talking about the thing that you share a fandom of with them. Don't take it too seriously. Recognize that this stuff is all supposed to be fun and games, and that if it's not, then it's not fun for you anymore, and you need to go to something else. For whatever reason that may be, for however you want to justify it, it's all fine, that's all perfectly valid, but don't use it to ruin someone else's day. Don't use it as ammo to say, oh, this thing is suddenly bad now. No, man. It's not the way it works. It's just not fun for you anymore. You need to let everybody who's still having fun have their fun, and go find some fun of your own somewhere. And lastly, don't ever use these fun things that we all enjoy as a way to shirk the responsibility of the real world around you. Get out there. Talk to your neighbors and fellow citizens. Keep an eye on world news and try to stay informed on the real issues threatening human life across the globe and in your own backyard. You need to keep one eye weathered on the horizon and one eye right here on home. And it's okay to occasionally rest your gaze and have a little fun, have a little playtime. Lord knows some of us need a little bit of that every day with how hard it gets. But remember, as a citizen of the world, you have a tremendous responsibility, just as I have a tremendous responsibility, to do your part to try to make it a better place for yourself, the ones you love, any potential descendants you may have, and everyone else. But what about me? What am I gonna do now? Because, well, all those things can certainly apply to me. Those are certainly things I can work on just as much as you guys can. There's certainly specific faults and foibles I need to get better at. Heck, I need to at least decide what I'm going to do next to try and have an actual career if I'm not going to do YouTube. And I'm certainly not going to keep cleaning up after college students for the rest of my life. Well, truthfully, I don't know. I have given it some thought, and I mean, there's a lot of things I could do. I could try and get into the toy industry. I could try and get into the film industry. Heck, I could try and get into politics and actually fix some of the problems that myself and my contemporaries continue to just sit around and whinge about all day. Or maybe I could just clean up after college students for the rest of my life and stay right here. Actually, look around me and try and enjoy the things that I have available to me and cultivate an actual steady, local group of friends. Hey, Geek with Chris, how you doing? The truth is, I don't really know what the future holds for me. I know some other dreams I've put away for a long time in service of doing this, but I don't know which ones I can still make a reality at this point in my life. I'd certainly like to work on some of my favorite toy lines. I'd certainly like to have a hand in future productions for long-running franchises I'm a fan of. I'd certainly like to help make positive changes for my fellow Americans. Heck, I'd just like to get out there and see the world a little bit more. One of my longest dreams has been to travel the world and see countries that I've only ever seen in pictures or videos, up close and impersonal. And for some reason, I never thought to do a travel vlog, not a proper one. But for right now, I think I'm just going to take a step back, maybe try and lose the gut, tighten up my finances a little bit, get some work done around the house, watch a lot of classic media I've never gotten to before, and a lot of newer media that I've just missed because I've been focused on other things that I needed to, or I thought I needed to keep up with for this, and just kind of enjoy life. Because, well, only got so much of it, and done wasting it here. So I need to use what's left to the fullest, just like you should. So all right then, Mr. the whoever I'm about to be, tag, you're it. Did you think I was gonna leave the shirt? It's fucking cold out there, man.